So let's begin.
Hey guys, so I guess y'all already know about AO, that's why you're here. So this session will be a really short one. I'll be going through the steps how you can get started with building on AO, how to set things up, and how to use our IDE specifically. So let's get started. I'll share my screen. Uh, yep, I hope it's visible to everyone. Can someone confirm if it's working?
Yes, it's working. I can see the screen.
Okay, cool. So what is AO? Basically, just like we have smart contracts on Ethereum, but Ethereum is a linear type of thing. Transactions come in linearly and get processed linearly. AO does it parallelly on Arweave. So multiple messages can be sent parallelly and multiple things can be processed at once parallelly. So I guess if you are already here, you must already know about AO. So I won't waste much time over there. So to start developing on this, first you have to set up the AR Connect extension on your browser, which will allow us to interact with the Arweave blockchain, through which we will also use AO. So just search for AR Connect on Google or whatever engine you use and visit arconnect.io. By the way, feel free to follow along with this session. Feel free to do your own stuff along with me. I'll set things up from scratch. I have a fresh new browser here and I don't have any extensions right now. Nothing. This is a blank browser. So I'll set up everything from scratch. So here I am at arconnect.io. I'll paste the link in chat so you can directly open it from there. Alright, then go to download, select your browser. I have Brave, so I'll use the Brave option. And it sends me to the Chrome Web Store where I can add the AR Connect extension to my browser. Alright, it's installed and now I'll set up a fresh new wallet account. Just click on next, 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 next. Enter any password. And then it will give you your seed phrase. So let's copy that and I'll paste it in a text editor. In the next, paste in the blank words. Alright, so now I have the AR Connect extension installed on my browser and it's a fresh new wallet. I don't have anything in this right now. So next we'll head on to our BetterIDEa IDE where we can use AO. I'll paste in the link in chat. Yeah, feel free to hack me. Good luck. Alright, So when you open our IDE, we'll first send you a pop-up to connect the wallet with the IDE. Just type in your password. Oops. And it will get connected. As you can see, it's showing a green symbol here, which means that it's connected with our IDE, and now we can use it. So initially, to use AO, we need to work in processes. Now, what are processes? Just like we have smart contracts in Ethereum and regular blockchains, we have processes in AO. So every process is like a smart contract, an independent smart contract, where you write the logic in Lua, and there are several handlers for different messages that you receive and send. So let's create a new process, and this will take, I guess, some time when you create a process for the first time. So let's wait for that to complete. Alright, that's done. So here we have our process ID, which is the uh, contract address for our smart contract, but in AO we call it process ID. Okay, so here we can see that we have a cell which has 1 plus 41 in it. So when we try to run it, we click on run. It should send this code to your AO process, which will then compute it and show you the results. So 1 plus 41 is 42, which should be divided by 100. Hi to myself. Okay, so we are using a send function with an uppercase S. Inside it, we pass a table. Inside the table, we put in the data. Target equals to a string which contains the value of our process ID. This means to which process we are sending the message, and a data field with a string that has the content that we are sending inside that message. So this has hi to myself. So the real message will be this thing. So let's click on run. and this says message added to outbox, which means that the message has been sent successfully. Oh wow, cool. That's great. People are already sending messages. Nice. So just like we have this cell, we can also add multiple cells. So if anyone has used Jupyter Notebook or Google Colab before, this is a similar user interface. So over there also we could add multiple cells and run different code in each cell. And over here I have created multiple cell. In the second cell, I'll put the inbox variable that we used earlier and click on run. So this will give us the value of the current inbox that we have. And if we scroll down, we can see that along with the original data that was already there, the selected portion is the original data which was there before. Along with this, we also have another object now added to it, which has a field called data, and it contains hi to myself. All right, so if we compare this to the previous one, this does not have any data because this was not sent from another process. All right, cool. So let's try sending. Okay, so now what we can do is I'll copy my process ID and I'll paste it into the chat. So you guys can try sending messages to me. So if you copy this thing and type in the same code and try to send a message to me, I should be able to receive it. I'll also send this function over here. All right, we'll check my inbox in a minute. App link, yes. Here we go. Great, great. People are sending messages. Cool. So while everyone is sending messages, I'll answer Bonjour's question for what is this, and there's a screenshot of the send function. Okay, so as I explained before, in AO, everything is a process. Just like we have smart contracts in regular blockchains, we have processes in AO. And if we compare it to the regular smart contracts, in smart contracts, we interact with them through transactions which contain our data. But in AO, the processes can communicate with each other and process things through sending messages. And a message is nothing but any table which contains some data. So over here in the inbox, if you see that there's this table along with fields like timestamp, from, a tag array, and multiple other things. So just like that, we are using the send function, which is able to send messages to other processes such that they are able to communicate with each other. So if you want one process to send a message to another process, you will have to use this send function. That's all. Uh, I hope that is clear. All right, let's check our inbox. Before I check my inbox, I want to check how many messages are there. So I will run hashtag inbox. So hashtag is a thing in Lua which will give you the length of whatever variable you uh, put in front of it. So if I run this, it should give me a number. All right. So there are 13 messages in my inbox right now. So let's check what I have in my, let's check the latest message that I have. Okay, so if I see this object, this was the older one before people started sending me message, and this actually had just two tables in it. So there's this table that is correctly highlighted, which was already present when we created our process, and the second one is the one that I sent to myself using this function. So since there were two messages, and if I want to check the latest message, if I want to check a message at a particular index, I can use the inbox along with square brackets and put in a number. So let's say that I want to check the third message that I received. So I'll put in the number 3, and when I run it, it should give me a single object with the data for the third message in my inbox. So if I check that, it has a data. I am the trackers at Discord, wanna give OG? Sure, okay. So this was the third message. Let's check the second. Okay, second was my own message. Let's check the fourth message. Okay, fourth one says, hi, first message from Stan Brown. Cool. But I don't really want to put in numbers for everyone. I just want to check what the latest message that I have received is. So instead of a number, I'll put in hashtag inbox inside the square brackets. So what this does is, as we saw earlier, when we type in hashtag inbox, it gives us the length of our inbox, and okay, I should be uppercase. So whenever we do inbox and inside the square brackets hashtag inbox, it returns the length of my inbox, which means that if my length is 15 and the number inside the square bracket is also 15, it will give me the latest message. So if I run this, okay, so the latest message was cool demo, that's Viraj. So this must be a message from Viraj who has sent this. All right, cool. Okay, so up to now we are sending messages manually. You guys are sending messages manually to me, but now since there are about 44 people in participants, and I don't want to manually reply to every one of them, so I'll set up some automation stuff using Lua, so that whenever I receive a message, my process would automatically respond to all of them, and I don't have to do it myself. So for that, what I'll do is I'll add a new cell and use an inbuilt function in the AO process, which is called handlers dot add, I believe. So let's have a look at documentation first. So documentation is available on the AO cookbook. I'll leave a link over here. Okay, so if we have a look at tutorials, messaging, there should be sample code in here. It's handlers.add, but I'm just referencing the documentation to show it to you guys. Okay, here it is. Thanks for the mention, Stanborn. Okay, so if you have a look at the documentation, it is doing something called handlers.add, passing a string, some checks, and a function. So if I have to do it over in my IDE, we'll use handlers.add. We will name it response, and this can be any string. It is just used to identify the handler that you have created. After that, we will give it a function that will act as a checker, because you don't want to respond to every message that you receive. So you can first check if a message contains some specific data, such that if it exists, only then you will be responding to it. So for that, we will be using this function called handlers.utils.hasMatchingTag. So I'll copy that and paste it over here. Handlers.utils.hasMatchingTag, and the tag says action and register. So I'll explain what this is in a bit. Meanwhile, I'll just change it to workshop and OG. And after that, so what this handlers.utils.hasMatchingTag does is, if we go on to the first code that we wrote, the target and data, we can actually add multiple things over here. So we can add any tag and any value, random gibberish, or anything meaningful. Just a moment. Okay. So just like there is a target and a data, we can actually add any tag that we want. So here we have mentioned that the tag should be called workshop and its value should be OG. That's what this function means. So over here, if we type in workshop equals to OG and send it, and when our handler receives it, it will check if the value of workshop is OG and then only respond to the process that has sent the message. So how do we respond to it? We write a function over here, function message, and we want to reply to it. So we write in AO.send, and we want to respond with the data that says you are OG. And after that, okay, so instead of AO.send, we can actually use handlers self, handlers.utils.reply, because we want to reply to the person who has sent the message. So we'll use handlers.util.reply, and inside it we can send in some data such as you are OG. And one more thing we need to do is, right when this function ends, we have to put in the message table inside a bracket. So this will be responding to anyone who sends my process a message which contains a tag called workshop and the data OG. So if I run this, it should not return any errors. Okay, so it returned undefined, which means that there was no error while defining this. So I'll just try sending myself a message again with the data workshop equals to OG and click send. So it's currently running it. There we have it. It was successful and the message is added to inbox. So let's check the latest message that we have received. And as you can see, the data is UROG, which was actually sent from the same process ID, as you can see in this from field. So this is the process that sent it, and this is actually my own process. So it's